If you've ever written, take care of myself on your to-do list, only to cross it off 3 weeks later, then this video right here, this is for you. So why does self-care suddenly feel like the biggest chore in the world since you've become a mum? Yet since becoming a mum, it's the most needed thing in order to feel like not just mum. Which is why we end up feeling like just a mum. So let's sit for 10 minutes and talk about why consistency when you're a mum is completely different to consistency pre-mum life when you actually had the opportunity to join the 5 a.m. club. By the end of this video, you will have a whole new way to measure growth as a mum, and one that actually fits this season of not just your life, but of this motherhood journey. Hi, I'm Patrice, a qualified life coach, a toddler mum, and the founder of Mum Body Soul, which is a community where we talk about how to grow self whilst we raise them. I'm here to make self-care doable, fun, soulful, and not another thing that's going to be left unticked, gathering dust on your to-do list. Let's whack it to the top and cross it off. So let's bust some myths. What self-care is not. Self-care is not packaged up in an expensive jar that smells like flowers and rainbows. It is not an aesthetic routine curated by people who do not have toddlers climbing up their shins. And it is not a reward which you earn once everything is done. Spoiler alert, it never is. Real self-care, it's not really what you see people doing on Instagram. It's what you do when nobody is watching. It's brushing your teeth twice a day. It's investing in you every now and then, rather than them all the time. It's taking a minute or two every single day to ask yourself, your mind, and your body, what are you feeling today and what do you need from myself? Self-care, it's literally taking care of self. Yet society has made it to be this billion-pound business, which we foolishly buy into. And at a time when time becomes scarce, love becomes scarce, because it's all in your toddler, energy and money all become scarce. It means we are consistently failing at self-care because we don't have the time, the energy, the love and the money to pour into that. So this video is about telling you you don't need to do any of that. I'm going to remind you what self-care really looks like and the kind of impacts it can have on this motherhood journey. If this is resonating with you so far, or you feel like, I agree with what she is saying, and please make sure you are liking this video and subscribing, because I'm here talking about not what many people really do. That's the mums, okay? I am sick and tired of having yet another tip of how to change my baby's bum. I know that. Please, someone help me with how to deal with the loss of self. And just an FYI, I'm going to take a few seconds out here to promote my guide I've been working on, which is called The Me That Mums Too. It's a guide that has 22 coaching tools in there, 5 chapters, 40 pages on how to start implementing self-care, self-prioritization, not only back into you, but simultaneously teaching your kid the foundation of what self-love really looks like. It's also a personal development guide that is made for this season of your life. If you have a baby or a toddler, pretty much a child who is under 5 years old. So if you are interested, in the description below, you will find a link that gives you 60% off this guide. And if you're asking yourself, oh, do I really want to buy that? Maybe ask yourself this: why are you questioning investing in yourself? So why does consistency feel impossible? Because our days as mums are unpredictable while simultaneously fueled with routine. We have constant interruptions. My whole week just got changed because of a snotty nose. And mum guilt. Oh my gosh, mum guilt is... it's insane how often we feel it from one extreme to another. We could be doing the absolute most that day and we go to sleep thinking of everything we haven't done. We are also burnt out. They talk about the kids being overstimulated. Hello, what about us? We are the ones dealing with the overstimulated child whilst being overstimulated, yet having to try and hide the overstimulation because we don't want our kid to feel more overstimulated. Consistency is so difficult because we have been taught That consistency is doing the same thing at the same time every single day and it looking the same. No, join my 4 a.m. club guy. It's different over here. Us mums, we need rhythm, we need compassion, we need to feel heard, understood. We need to be asking ourselves every day how we feel, not just what we've achieved. So this is your reminder that being consistent doesn't mean being great every single day. It means striving to be great every single day. It means having the same intention every single day. I intend to look after myself every single day. Whether or not that goes to plan, it's a different story. We're mums. Our life is run by our toddlers. But if we go into the day with the intention that we are going to carve some time back for ourselves today because we deserve it, then that, my friend, is consistency. Now take a moment to write down in the comments below one thing that you are going to try and be consistent with over the next 7 days. Now, we have talked about what self-care is not. Now let's talk about what self-care is. Self-care is the good stuff that makes you reconnect with you. It's the small, simple, underrated things that aren't talked about as much. It's the taking care of self. That breath that you take before yelling, that, my friend, is self-care. That journal that's collected dust, but you chatting with yourself on WhatsApp and scribbling down, I don't know, an idea that pops into your head or how you feel because you don't want to forget that feeling, that's still self-care. The cry, this is so important, the cry that you do, that is my biggest form of therapy since becoming a mum. I'll tell you this, yesterday I felt so emotional. Every Friday, me and my partner, we have movie night. It's our time to try and reconnect with us. And I was just so emotional. And he was also in a really stressed out mood and our negativity was just bouncing off one another. And I said to him, look, I can't be around you right now because I kind of hoped you were going to be in a positive mood because I needed some of your positivity. It doesn't look like that's going to happen tonight, so I'd rather be by myself so I can work through this negative space I'm currently experiencing. That, number one, is self-care because I'm recognising what I need and I'm putting me first. But secondly, I went into my room and I cried. Oh, I cried. I let the tears run, and that's okay. It's so okay to feel sad and overwhelmed and anxious and tired when you're a mum. Heck, when you're a human, that is pretty normal. And it's so important not to dwell in those moments, but equally, it's so important to acknowledge those moments as well, to feel what you're feeling. You've got to release that emotion. You've got to allow that emotion. Well, fun fact for you, emotion, that word actually comes from energy in motion. So you need to allow that energy to have its motion. If you try and hold it and keep those tears in because you've planned a little date night with your partner, that emotion is going to be halted up somewhere, and I promise you it will come out in other ways. But to take yourself away to your room and allow that energy to have its motion and release, that is the kind of self-care that is not talked about, okay? Yeah, exfoliating scrubs from Sanitary Spa is more talked about. What the hell has this world come to? And that guide I mentioned earlier, the Me That Mums Too, it is full of soulful self-care tips that you can do as a mum with a toddler, in toddlerhood, overwhelmed and got no time for yourself. This guide is here to guide you into the simple yet most impactful self-care tools that we as mums can incorporate back into our lives with our little ones watching. Now we are going to move on to new ways as a mum to measure growth, because life is so different now. So why are we using the same measurements? That's why we're not fulfilled enough with what we're doing for self, because we're trying to do what we were doing before. We're trying to do what the guy who has no kids does. And we're trying to do what the mum who now has teenager kids do. We need, like I say, a tool, a guide, a coach, for somebody who is speaking purely and only for this season of life. And that's toddlerhood, that's having a baby, that's when things are so different. And right now I just got an all of a sudden rush of I need to cry. Again, I said I'm due on. Anyway, so what if your growth was measured in moments of awareness and not milestones? Before I might have tracked progress like, oh my God, I see an ab coming through. I don't think that ever happened. Or I just completed my first hour-long meditation. Whereas now, how I learned to measure success as a mum, it's through my energy levels. You know, have you ever done an energy audit before where you've reviewed your week and you've looked at all of the things that kind of sucked your energy and things that kind of invested back into your energy? Your energy is like a currency, and it's so important to look at where you are spending it. And I consistently audit my energy. I know where it goes. I know I watch a lot of TV, and I know I should not be watching as much Married at First Sight as I do. But I'm aware of that, and I'm aware that if my energies are running low, maybe I need to cut back a little bit on that TV, and I need to invest my energy levels back into myself by doing things such as going for a nice evening walk, or, you know, doing some yoga, doing some things that make me feel great, because like I say, energy is a currency and it's being spent and it's also being invested in, and I need to start investing in it. It's about at times recognizing that when your energy is so low all the time, then you need to just take some steps back and start investing, filling your energy back up, opposed to spending it because your bank balance running low. So that for me is a massive kind of level up in growth, because it was things I never used to do that before. Yes, growth for me was so different and it was painted in a very different picture to me before, but now energy is so scarce that a new measure of growth for me is taking accountability for where it's going. Also, of course, it's measured within my toddler. It's watching my toddler get so wound up and teaching her little moments of breath. So like the other day when I just said to her, breathe, when she was like going through it, and she sat there and she breathed, like that to me was like probably one of my biggest level ups in growth, because I was like, whoa, like that's now pouring into her. And that's what I meant, what I said before. When you pour into yourself on this growth motherhood journey, you subconsciously and simultaneously will be pouring back into your child, because they will be watching you. They will be watching how you regulate yourself, watching how you overcome situations, and just generally learning of you. So to see her do these amazing tools that I do on myself, like of course that made me feel amazing. So becoming a mum, it really is about going back to the basics of what self-care and self-growth is, and it's about measuring it differently as well. It's about finding little moments for yourself and being consistent in being consistent. You know, it's being consistent in having the intention to carve some time out for yourself that day. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to, you know, carve time out for yourself that day, because like I say, sometimes our whole week gets restructured because our little one has a runny nose, and it's not like, okay, she's ill, but I said I was going to do 10 minutes of meditation this evening. No, as long as you have that intention, then that's where we've got to start from, and we've got to be proud of ourselves for having that. Just not comparing ourselves to people who aren't mums, who are going through toddlerhood and babyhood, because they're two different types of personal development, two different types of growth, two different types of self. So you've just got to start small. You've got to start very messy, because you are already worth the effort, even if it's inconsistently consistent. So please do me a huge favor and like this video if you gained just one actionable tool out of it. Follow if you gained 2 actionable tools from this video. And make sure that you drop a comment below to the other toddler mums who are watching this video, and write one thing that made you feel like yourself again in this journey, and let's just create a chain of feel good advice from people who get it. And if you want a guide, a personal development guide that fits this season of your life, please remember I have put in the description below the link that will take you to my Me That Mums Too guide, which is 60% off with the link, because we are worth the investment. You are worth the investment, and don't let anyone tell you different. With love from Mum, Body, Soul. Take a deep breath and have the best day.